So today I am going to show you how to shade a doodle in this style. Right here I will be using the regular graphite pencils and liners, and I already pre-sketched the doodle and I traced it as well, so the video doesn't take hours and hours. So let's talk about the materials that I am going to be using. I will be using micron pen number 5, then another one, micron pen number 2, or it's liner, let's say it's a liner. And I will be using the following graphite pencils by Faber-Castell. I don't know how to say it, but it's pit graphite matte. Those are matte pencils, and so I'm gonna be using 4B, 10B, and 14B. They're pretty cool pencils. So for the outline, I use the thicker liner, number 5, which I probably should start using number 6. And for the inside lines or for the details, I will be using liner number 2. So I'm gonna start with just shading everything with a graphite pencil number 4, which is the lightest out of all the pencils that I have, but it's still darker than regular pencils like number 2 pencil. And I hope that the sound is okay. I could not find my microphone. It's lost somewhere, and that's very unfortunate. So the hat is going to be a little bit lighter, and the darkest part is going to be the hair, and the small details I'm going to add with the liner. You will see how I do it. So typically for the outside lines, I use liner number, without a number, just the thicker liner to get the nice thick even contour. And for the inside lines, I use thinner liner. So I'm about to fast forward, because first step it's gonna be all the same. I'm gonna use the lightest shade of the pencil to shade basically everything. So the basic shading is done, and I left the tank top white, and I left inside the eyes white as well. I'm not planning on coloring the tank top, and the eyes, they will be the whites of the eyes, of course, will be white. So now I am going to continue shading, and I'm going to be moving from the top to the bottom, because I do not want to smudge with my hand other areas. The pencil smudges very easily, and when you move the hand on top of your artwork, it happens, and that's okay. So I'm gonna start shading the very close to the outline with my second darkest pencil, which is 10B. I could have done it with the same with the 4B, but I guess I'm just going to switch. It's gonna be easier for me, maybe a little bit faster. And when I shade, I try to make this gradual transition. So first I press on the pencil hard, and then lighter and lighter and lighter, and you can practice on the side of your sketchbook, and then you can do the second layer right here, maybe make it a little bit more dark, a little darker, and then perfect this transition however you want. So this is my approach to shading, and it's gonna take some time. So I normally just start with this. Okay, so the sketch itself, the sketch that I made, it is pretty simple. It's just a doodle, but what makes it cool is the details and the coloring or shading And that's why I really like working in doodle style. You can draw something quickly without overthinking it with the simple lines and trace it, and then you can just, you know, when your sketch is done, you can embellish it as much as you want. And for me, sketching is the most difficult and the most time-consuming part, because that's when you are brainstorming the concept. That's when you erase a lot, when a lot of times, you know, things don't look like what you expected them to look like. Well, the more you practice, the easier it gets. And you know, you know how to control your hand, and you come to agreement with your imagination, you know your own style, and it gets easier to sketch. But if you are just a beginner and you start drawing something, and in your imagination and your mind, it looks completely different from what you see on the paper. But I just want to say, please do not get discouraged, and keep practicing, and that's how you find your own little style. I keep telling that to my students. They always want to give up or restart, and speaking of restarting, please do not, I mean, sometimes it's okay to restart because you messed up a paper really bad, and you are basically at the point of no return. I mean, nothing can fix your artwork, but most of the time, please do not restart. Just finish what you started, because if you keep restarting and just feeding your perfectionism, nothing good is going to come out of it. You're just going to give up because you spend a lot of time on making one artwork, and that is frustrating. Just get it done and learn from it and move on, do something else, or redraw it, change it, make it look different. Okay, so I shaded the top part. I might come back to it because I want to make the outline a little bit darker, but let's go ahead and start working on the hair. Hair is gonna take a long time. I probably will have to speed up, but this is my basic approach. I'm gonna go ahead and make it darker, make the whole area darker. I'm just gonna show you on the left side because I am planning to speed it up. So notice how I'm holding the pencil funny. You would say, why is she not holding the pencil like this? But when you hold the pencil like a pen, like a proper way, you are working with the tip of the pencil, and I need to work with the side of the pencil. That's why I'm holding my pencil like this. And when you work with the side of the pencil covers larger area, and your strokes are softer. Like your pressure, you are not, the pressure is different that you apply on the side of the pencil versus the tip of the pencil. That's why it's important, I think, to get comfortable with this particular technique. Okay, so here I shaded the left side of the sorry, of the hair. Now I'm gonna move on to actually the same pencil. I'm gonna start with the same pencil, and now see, I changed my grip. Now I'm gonna be working with the tip of my pencil, and I'm gonna be shading. Let's see if I can move the camera a little bit closer to it so it's easier for you to see. All right, I think it's working. Maybe just a little bit closer. You know, at work I'm so used to, I have a document camera. I'm so used to that document camera going out of focus every time I move it, so it's very frustrating. But iPhone camera is a little different. I mean, it's a lot different, so hopefully it's not gonna go out of focus that easily. So right now I cannot tell if you understand what I'm doing, but I'm gonna definitely comment on it. So this is how I like to shade hair. This is my personal approach. So I'm gonna show you on the side. I'm working with the rows of lines. So that's what I'm doing pretty much. And you can just go faster. And in this particular scenario, it's more beneficial if your pencil is a little bit dull. Mine is a little bit sharp right now. I do not like this situation right here, but I'm gonna fix it and I'm gonna go over it again. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just making rows of short lines. And see, this part right now, my hand is resting on it, and it's gonna be smudged. This pencil doesn't like make ugly smudges on the paper, but definitely the area that I shaded is gonna get lighter. So I am going to speed up, so instead of like neat rows like this, so you're probably gonna see something more like that, which is okay. Okay, now I'm gonna speed up the video, and after that I will comment on what I did. So I finished the hair, slacked on the side a little bit, which is not a big deal. Let's work on the face, and I'll show you how I work on the face. So it's not gonna be very difficult. At first I'm gonna give her some blush, and I'm going back to my number 4 pencil, which I sharpened with this prehistorical device right here. I just like the simple metal sharpeners. They work just fine. Also, sometimes they are sold in big packs, and that's cheap to replace. But also, you know, working with the cheap materials is more difficult than working with the expensive materials. It's funny because sometimes people say, oh, do not buy expensive materials, you're not even a professional yet. But it's easier, much easier to work with expensive materials. The artwork looks nicer, you know. The part of it, you know, I work with kids, and they work with like you make them use crayons, and then you think if the crayons were more expensive, this would look so much nicer. It's obviously like not the lack of skill from a child's part, but sometimes it's just the material, you know. Very frustrating to use cheap crayons, and the kids get frustrated. But for the practice purposes, that's a good material to use. Besides, you know, in a public setting, public school education setting, like, what else are you gonna give kids? Yeah, so I am coloring the darkest areas. I'm kind of, you know, here and there blush again, but when I shade the blush, I want smooth transition on the sides of the face, and I'm working with the side of my pencil. Let's shade the chin a little bit, so it's just like a blush here. Hair oftentimes casts a shadow, and we can shade the forehead just a little bit. Of course, this is the lightest pencil, and it has its limitations, but it's great as a base. Now a little bit shade, and again, notice how I am doing it very close to the contour line. Let's move the camera a little further away. Close to the contour line, and it's the darkest, and closer to the center I try to press on the pencil lighter. Okay, shade right here, because, well, let's suppose that the tank top casts a shadow on the body. It's a nice little detail to add. And this doodle is a lot bigger than what I'm normally drawing. I don't like draw anything big like this. It also takes longer to color, but I feel like for the educational purposes, I have to make something large so everybody can see the details. But maybe it was not the right decision, because look how long it's taken me. Okay, so I'm done with my pencil number 4. I'm going to grab my, what is it, number 10. Let's do number 10. Let's go step by step gradually. Oh, by the way, before I do that, her eyes seem a little empty, and that's because the irises are white. So let's go ahead and color them in. Leave a little spot for shine. I'll work with it a little bit later. I'll add the details, but right now my goal is shading. So with the darker, let's just try to work with the vertical strokes. It's not necessarily, sometimes I like to shade in a circular motion like this, and sometimes it's okay to shade in the vertical strokes. However you prefer, just try both variants, see what works for you. Okay, so the eyebrows close to the nose, typically a little bit darker. Well, I like to make them a little darker. People like different types of eyebrows, so I guess not very important. A little bit more on the chin. A lot of people are scared to draw the shadow under the chin on the neck. Nothing is scary about that. It's you will get used to it. It's not gonna look like a beard. My students always say, oh, it's gonna look like a beard. No, it will not. A beard on top of the face is gonna look like a beard, but on the neck we do need a shadow. So like this little shadow on the nose, which is more like since we are drawing the blush, we're shading coloring the blush with the graphite. It is the same, like the same red that's on the cheeks would be the same red on the nose and the same red on the lips. You try to think of it in terms of that. So upper part of the eye may be a little bit darker. I'm gonna switch back to my 4B, and what I want to do, kind of want to shade the upper half of the eye of the white. I probably am overdoing it and overthinking it, but I just wanted to do it real quick. So a little bit here on top of the eyes to give it some volume, and a little bit on the bottom, just because I'm going to be adding details on top of the eye and on the bottom of the eye. Okay. And I'm making micro circles to blend, because I don't want like a hard transition right between the areas. So I am blending the transition, but then like, see, let's say this is the light and this is the dark, right? And see how there is a transition. So this transition you can blend in with the circular movements. Okay, where was it? Okay, I think I am at the capacity of this pencil, so I'm gonna switch and go to my 14. And what I'm going to do, what was I going to do? Lips. I was going to work on the lips. Upper lip is normally a little darker than the bottom lip, because the bottom lip is facing upwards and more light gets reflected from it. But honestly, in this situation, both of my lips look the same, kind of, sort of, not a big deal. Maybe a little bit more blush, but again, I don't want to overdo it. So this one, typically I do use it on the darkest areas, because I think this is the darkest pencil they have. After 14B, I don't think anything else exists. Maybe I am mistaken. So if I had time, I would go over the hair a little bit more with this one, but I don't really want to make this tutorial endless, so I'm not gonna do it. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna show you how I work with the details, and the details I'm going to be adding with the micron number 2. Okay, so here's my thinnest micron liner, and let's think. I'm just thinking with the liner in my hand. I wish I had a thicker liner, which I probably do. My stash is pretty big, but let's add the details. See, this one is not visible, so I'm just gonna be switching between two. This is my number 5 and number 2, because I don't see the lines I'm making. That's why I'm saying I should have gotten a thicker liner, but it's okay. So this hat, it is fluffy. In my imagination, it's fluffy. It has like maybe loops of yarn. I don't know. So with these half circles, the curved lines, I am trying to show that it has some fluffy texture. And I'm alternating little dots with the little half circles. Important not to overdo it. Do just enough, but it comes to you with time, you know. Sometimes you overdo one time and then like, okay, I should have not done that, so maybe next time you will learn. And again, nothing is wrong with it. Even if you think you messed it up, just finish the artwork, and maybe later you will change your opinion and think that it's actually looking good. So that's it for the hat. Now let's go ahead and work with the face. So I'm gonna add some stray hairs here and there, maybe right here. Okay, maybe some more. Okay, silly, but it's okay. Right, a little bit texture on the eyebrows. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to the eyeliner, not a regular liner. But see, that's why I don't like to call this pen a liner, because to me a liner is a makeup. Maybe because I'm a girl. Okay, under eye bags, very important. See, so cute. Maybe nose right here. She is tired. Lashes? No lashes? Yes, I'm gonna draw lashes. I'll switch again. And 1, 2, 3, 4 lashes on the bottom. You can also do lashes on top of the eye, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna skip it. Little freckles here and there. Maybe some on the forehead. Maybe some gonna be a little bit bigger, small, tiny circles. I love freckles. Okay. Chin. Okay, what else should I add? Looks fine to me, looks okay. I don't like that I went over the... yeah, please don't try to rub your artwork with the fingers. That's not a good decision. It's never a good decision. Just get a small, maybe eraser. All right, what else? Now let's move a little bit further down. Some freckles here and there. Let's give her texture of the tank top. Tank top needs some texture, because right now it's plain white and it's boring. So I'm switching to my thin liner, and let's draw some vertical lines. Just, I don't want them to be even. I actually want them to be a little bit wonky. Sometimes if you want to make really wonky lines, you can switch your hand, and if you are a righty, you can start drawing with the left hand, and if you are a lefty, you can start drawing with the right hand. But here I am alternating from bottom and the top and all the way to another side. Maybe a little bit wonky. Your imperfection is beautiful. Always embrace it. Okay, so we did that. Let's go ahead and give her some tattoos. Let's see, maybe like a heart with with the arrow. Maybe what else? Maybe like a moon. I have a moon right here on the opposite side, but that's okay. My other arm, she's gonna have a flower tattoo, chunky stem, because it's funny. Okay, should have made a cactus, maybe another heart here. Oh yes. Okay, just not to overdo it or something. And I am overdoing it, look at it. Okay, maybe some here and there, freckles. What else? And yeah, I think that's it. I'm about to finish up the frame, maybe draw the wallpaper, and come back for the conclusion. So I finished. This is the final result. I added some wallpapers, I added some details on the hair, and I don't think I added anything else, but I really hope this was useful, and I would like for you to try and learn this type of style. You can, if you want, you can copy my artwork shaded, just go step by step with this video. I do not mind if you copy this in educational purposes, it's fine, just go ahead and practice. And let me know in the comments if this was useful. If this was useful, please subscribe and like and share and whatever. And I'll be back with more videos. Bye.